Hello and welcome to Colleague 7 Sprint Review for 20.07.01. This will cover the work undertaken between the 23rd of June to the 7th of July. Our sprint goal for this sprint has been to deliver the first phase of Colleague 7's new Outlook add-in and to enhance the Skills tab of records with a scanned document feature. Looking at the high-level items and to explain further, in this sprint we've been able to introduce a new Outlook add-in which works in partnership with Colleague 7. The Outlook add-in will look up a sender's email address to find matching records on the system related to that email address. The record details will then be shown in a summary view. I'll give a demo on this shortly. There is now a scan document feature on the Skills tab of all records, which allows you to scan selected documents and list the skills found. Again, I'll give a demo on this shortly. We've updated our API with an advanced requirement search, which can use any fields, including custom fields, as part of its search criteria. This is to enable our standard job search offering, which I'll be talking about over the coming months, and also any clients looking to build bespoke job searching on their websites. And in line with Microsoft guidelines, we've updated our web applications to utilize the 4.8.NET framework. We'll now go for a brief demonstration on the key features from this sprint. So in this video, we're going to go through the Colleague 7 Outlook add-in and how you go about setting that up on your Outlook desktop app and also the web app as well. This works in a way so that on selection of an email, you'll see the icons top right up there. The colleague icon is included in that icon set, and basically a summary view pane appears on the right hand side. But to enable it, we go first to Get Add-ins, which is available there, and then we go to My Add-ins. What you can then do is scroll down to Custom Add-ins, and then you'll see you've got an option for add from URL. Now there's a URL that's provided as part of the release notes with the Outlook add-in, and you need to enter that URL there and press OK, and then you hit install, and that will install the Colleague 7 Outlook add-in to your Outlook desktop. So that's now in place. So if we go back to the inbox, on selection of an email, what you then see is the colleague icon appear. And on selection of that colleague icon, it then presents a summary view pane containing the details of the record that's associated with that email address in the system. So within here, the fields that are shown on the basis of the summary view settings that you set up in admin, or if you've overridden them with personal settings. So those need to be set up. You've got the option to create history, and then from the create history you can select different history types. Just enter in some text as you want to, hit save, and it's going to create history against that record. You've got the means to be able to access that record by clicking on the icon. So if you click on the name, it's going to take you through into the record. There does need to be an active Colleague 7 login in play, so you do need to have logged into Colleague for that to work. There's also the click to dial option. So basically on pressing the telephone icon, the prompt to create history is also triggered as well, and obviously you get that click to dial option that's available when you're within the system as well. So that runs out of the Outlook add-in as well. So in the scenario where you have more than one record associated with an email address, a sender's email address, what you'll see within the Colleague 7 Outlook add-in is that there is a found count that's basically given against the record. So you can see there you've got 29 different records that are associated with this email address, and you're able to basically scroll through and see the different records. And you'll notice that the candidate and contact title will change based on whether or not it's a candidate and a contact. And if it's a contact, you'll see a company name as well, and a link through to the company name is given. In terms of from the Outlook web app, if we go to the web app here, on selection of an email, the Outlook add-in is summoned basically from that ellipsis option of an email, and you can see that you've got colleague there as well, and the same functionality is basically available through the web app. So that's also available if you are strictly using only the web app to access your Outlook. You could call the Outlook add-in through that process. So that covers the initial version of the Colleague 7 Outlook add-in. There are additional features that we will be adding to the add-in in short time over the course of the coming weeks, based on different functionality you want to add, namely the ability to parse, the ability to attach associated attachments to records, and many other features that we plan on building into this add-in. But for now, this is the first iteration of the Colleague 7 add-in. The other main item to go through is the scan document feature. So the scan document feature was available within version 6 and one of the remaining gap analysis items to place within Colleague 7. And this is the means to be able to scan documents that have been added to a record and essentially look for the skills within those documents, and obviously have a means to be able to easily add skills to the record that are associated to those documents. So within obviously a record, you have obviously a documents tab which lists all documents associated. But what you'll now see is within skills, you'll have an option here called scan document. And on clicking scan document, that's going to list all of the documents that you have associated to the record that are scannable. So for example, images will be filtered out. But essentially you would select the document that you want to scan. You hit scan document, it then runs the scan, and it will give you the skills that it's found as part of running that scan against that document. And from there you can either leave everything ticked and hit save. You could untick it if you like and tick selected ones. And the nature of whether or not this tick box is ticked by default is defined by the user setting and also the global setting for the parsing skills found. So within your user settings under integrations, you've got when parsing, add skills to new record by default. And that's basically just to say whether or not that tick box is ticked by default. And if that's set to yes, then it means that this tick box is going to be set to yes every time rather than being unticked. So that's worth having set there if you want it to be enabled that way. But when you're happy with the skills that you want to save, you hit save, and the selected skills are obviously saved to the record, and it's a time saver in terms of populating records with the skills associated with documents attached. So that's the scan document feature. As always, if you have any queries or feedback, please get in touch. I'll be keen to hear from you. Also, for those using Colleague 7, feel free to submit your enhancement requests via the support team or directly to me using the above email address. The next video will be the sprint review for 20.07.02, and as part of that, I'll include some quick demonstrations on the new functionality that's been added. Thanks for watching.